Hello, good afternoon. 12th of August 2020. This is a video regarding the difference between crew management and ship management and why is it a conflict of interest, one or the other. Um, Having a database of about 100,000 and growing 20% per year um, of CVs, of seafarers, does make a quite a difference regarding proposing a 2% agency fee for ship owners and the disrupted suppliers, special like health and safety, the bank, which soon will be digital, then the insurance, travel, and let's say the cost control and the database digital. So this is a very specialist business that you cannot compare to the mechanical side of, let's say, the industry now, how we operate this industry and how we make these cars or these ships that float. And this is very differentiated business type. One thing is the human resources and another thing is the industry. And there is a lot of conflicts of interest between both. For example, when we have these cadet to officer grants, most of these grants stay on the ship manager. In the crew management side, they stay in the crew manager. Um, then most of these cadets also stay in the ship owner side. And then if it is with the ship manager, they stay in the ship manager. So all the money that has been put towards this training of cadets, it is for the ship owner because ship owner pays these cadets wages, and then the ship manager retains this talent, the best talent, and that is a huge conflict of interest because it would take the best talent, young cadets, and put them into ship manager position, then it is a great conflict of interest because we are taking away the future talent from the ship owner. If we have a rating to officer system also, then we also have grants for this. And these grants go towards the ship manager. But in case of a crew manager, goes towards the owner. So there is conflict number two, because then this rating could be an officer tomorrow and would not stay under the ship owner, would go directly towards the ship manager. So there's a huge conflict that you're paying for this rating to be trained, and whenever 1 out of 10 it turns out to be so good, you want to keep maintain for the long term, then suddenly ship manager takes that person away because they have another interest in another ship owner. So this is conflict number two. Now, conflict number three we have is with the flights, with the insurance. We don't have rebates. Yes, please listen to this. We do not have rebates. Yes, because if we mix the crew with the industry, let's say the ship management, then we put them together, then how can you differentiate between the insurance, the travel, the many training? For example, if you do training for the group of, say, 100 officers, and then suddenly these only 20 continue in the ship owner, then the 80 that the ship owner has paid then suddenly go towards the ship manager. So what is the point in doing this conflict of interest? And then perhaps also some stay in the ship manager's own office, and this is really a conflict of interest. We don't take any superintendents, we don't take any technical and deputy person shows, DPAs, we don't take any. Yes, we don't take any fleet managers. Yes, we don't take any, thank you, because that would be a conflict of interest, because then the best person that did go up the ladder, suddenly, boomba, taken away by the ship manager. This is a huge conflict of interest. We would never do that. We would only exclusively do the crew management side of the ships. And like this, we have, for example, a lot of situations whereby the rebates in the engine side, we don't take any because we don't have any interest in this engine side. So you can know that our 2% is core for the crew management side. And we can provide you above 100,000 seafarers in the database. We can provide you the digital basic needs for the rosters, the CVs, the medical examinations, drug and alcohols, the certificates, the payrolls, everything there, and the best rates for the crew management side. We can do it at a very low rate because we don't mix it with the industry side. We don't need to have an industry in order to supply human resources. And we are not going to conflict with the ship management side completely at all. We are not going to fight for that. So you can have your crew exclusively for you in the long term, and you don't need to fight for the cadets that are very good, for the ratings that are very good, for the superintendents that are very good, for the training of the officers that are very good. You don't need to fight for any of these at all. And you can exclusively look at the core of this crew management side. Plus, once you have identified this and then passed it away, you can invest in the technical side. It will be much easier for you to invest in the technical side if the chief engineer is yours, and the captain, and the second engineer, and the chief officer, and the electrician, and the boss, and everybody, because you can get them to work towards your company. So this is how it has always been done. And then you can have control of the technical side of your ship, of the audits of your ship. You can impose then objectives, you can have then motivation systems for your crew. And this is how it really works nowadays. And that the idea is that a lot of ship owners are actually working like this because you rather have control of your crew, and then the talent can be retained in your company so that the rebates that a lot of ship managers get from all the different costs, imagine how much it is a budget, the technical budget. So imagine how much the rebate would be, and imagine how much talent, positive, you must think positive, how much positive crew you can retain in your shore office. I know a lot of ship owners that are doing this and that are differentiating between the technical and the crew because these are completely different things. I don't know who started mixing these things up, probably ship managers, but it is not the same to manage the industry than to manage the human resources. It is completely different. And nowadays, with this digital means, we can find out that a 2% agency fee for a fleet, it is much, much, much more competitive. Ship managers cannot compete at this unless they get the rebate in the technical side, which it is one of the huge conflicts because the contracts do say that we are not allowed to get any rebates at all, and we are supposed to pass all these rebates to ship owners. And this is something very important that perhaps we have forgotten about because rebates are something that are very important for the crew management business because we can show our costs, how low they are, how direct they are, and out of this cost, then perhaps the investment in the human resources of the talent side, it is an area that now the ship owner can work. Now we can identify which are the best leaders on board the ships, the best captains, chief engineers, second engineers, chief officers, and the crew, because all of them are excellent. And if they are motivated and working directly for the ship owner, then we can really improve constantly the asset investment of the ship because it is of the interest of the whole crew. And this is something that is very important that we can work very exclusively with the ship owner. We can have the ship owner's superintendent working directly with the captain as we used to do for the whole crew management communications. We used to have captain instructions whereby we had then appraisal reports, how to report, very simple system. We had the CVs approved directly by the captains and the chief engineers. Yes, we don't need to go via a middle person, middle company. No, it is direct to the captain and to the chief engineer. And they can contact the crew manager in Candina directly to find out now this person is doing like this person is doing like this. I'd rather have this person for this ship. I'd rather have that person for that other ship without going through the middle and of the ship manager and the decision of the roster, promotion, demotion, reliefs, whatever decision there is, it is so direct and always in copy to the superintendent so that we can have a very straightforward system and really core system. And in case the ship owner would like to have in the future any help from any, let's say, crew on board, officers, captains, and so on, we can contact directly the crew manager and say, hey, where is this person? When that person will return to the ship, and then directly contact that person, put that person on board the flight, or perhaps even we have the ship owner's crew directly very close to the shipyard to do these jobs and so, and it is much better, much direct, much lean, let's say, core. But the most important thing I believe about having a relationship with the crew management direct from the ship owner is that there is no rebate, 2% fee, and apart from these rosters and digital that it has been proved that we can do, we have been doing it directly digital for you with the basics. Then the rebates there in the technical side are so big that I think it's better that the ship owners look after them. And I think that the most important thing about having direct relationship with the crew management company is the talent. You can find the talent in your crew side, which it is tailor-made for your ships, and then you can create loyalty. Now, the crew nationalities also are not so as before that they used to be officers one nationality, ratings another nationalities. Nowadays we have United Nations, so it is very important that of this United Nations crew list to find out which is the best crew that can stay in the long term ashore as superintendents. And this, I believe, is one of the most important things. Like before, it was done like this until everybody started looking at ship management companies and then externalizing this. But nowadays, with this coronavirus, we're starting to see that the talent with this digital means you can find the talent wherever they are directly. If they are in, let's say, in India, in Filipinas, in Peru, in Ukraine, in Latvia, Estonia, UK, wherever the officers are and wherever you need superintendents for your fleet, you can take them away from your own fleet like it was done traditionally because we are tailor-made for your type of ship, dear ship owner. Our talent is for your type of ship, depending the trade, the size, the crew complement, the flag, cargo, all kinds of specific items. And if you separate the crew from the technical side, then you're doing a great favor to your ships because the talent is what we need to work very strongly under this coronavirus situation, dear ship owner. The talent is something that perhaps now with this cloud of coronavirus, we are starting to see that it is what we need. But the talent has nothing to do with the cost because the cost can be a 2% agency fee directly with a crew management company that it is has identified that this is the core activity. This is our competitive advantage. This is what we are going to keep on doing. We are not going to have any rebates. We have 4 employers for you because no one before has thought that having 4 employers is so important. Well, we have. There is going to be now a time that flags will change, classification societies will change or will be changed. Disruption is here for the transfers. Disruption is here for the health of the crew. There is going to be a lot of disruption that we are going to enter so that your crew it is expanding its talent and controlling its cost and having the health as number one for your crew. We are going to continue like this. I hope that you agree with me that this is what this cloud of coronavirus has really left us aside. This is the crew management side and the ship management side, and both collide. Now, with this cloud, we can see clearly that there is huge conflict of interest. I written and I made so many videos about the conflicts of interest between ship management and crew management. It is so complicated, and mainly its core conflict is the talent, because cadet goes to officer, rating goes to officer, the training to this for this crew, and no. This must be always at the ship owner's hat, and there is a conflict because the ship owners do not have this clear photo that as a crew management company, sorry, at the 2%, we can be so disruptors and so cost effective, and our database is so big that you cannot compete with us because we have a huge competitive advantage. But we can unite both services of the, and there is no conflict of interest at all between the ship owner and the crew management company. There is no conflict of interest. It's only add. Yes, it has been like this. Why? Because it's direct. We have direct relationship with the captain for the talent and the chief engineer. We have direct relationship with the superintendent of the ship owner to keep this talent and the cost and whatever operations problems there is. Now, to get solutions, direct solutions without no middle person in between and with no conflict. So this is very important point that I hope I have made clear today, 12th of August 2020. And with this coronavirus cloud that we did not see before, what conflicts there was between ship owner and ship manager. Now that the ship owner crew manager relationship direct, there is so many economies of scales and synergies that it must be worked. And this has been like, for example, the the longest company we have had in Candina, it has been 50 years as a crew management company. Yes, indeed, 50 years working directly for a ship owner, going through, let's say, from Spanish to Spanish and Peruvian and Chilean and Germans. We had also two Latvians also in the engine later. Then we went to Filipinos, and then it suddenly ended about, say, 9 years ago after 50 years because it had to end and the management reshuffle, and it was like the company was sold and bought by another and so on. There was a lot of interest in that, but who knows? Probably in the future they will return, because when they find out that this solution provider, Direct Candina, it does work directly with the ship owner, then we can keep this 50-year long-term stability. And this is the best thing for the long-term intrinsic compound value of a company. And it can be generated in 50 years because we can retain the talent, we can train the talent. And this is something that the crew management company directly with you, ship owner, can work constantly and direct. It is very important, I believe, this situation. And well, perhaps we need to have wave number two, wave number three of coronavirus, so that ship owners start to realize that, of course, they can do the crew management direct. It is no problem. But if you pay a 2% to have the advantage of the database, to have the advantage of the digital software applications, so you can log in, log out, verify everything, certificates of maritime labor convention, United Nations nationalities now with this coronavirus, we have seen it is quite important to find out whether I can fly this crew or that crew, what tests I must do, and so on. Then it is also very important to know that the possibility of the crew management company for employers and the health and safety, like the agreements we have, for example, with Seagull with other health prevention systems are excellent. The bank transfers also, we are going to be more disruptive than the ship owners, and the cost control we better. And we have seen throughout history that the ship owners doing themselves, for example, in the LNG video, I did expose it. The wages in the last, say, 5 years in Spain show wages have increased zero, and some companies have increased the wages 25%. Why? Because if the ship owner has direct relationship with the crew, then it is easier that they can convince the ship owner to adjusting inflation rates plus 0.1, 0.2. But if you compound these additional increases in say 15 years, perhaps the ship owners are, like in this LNG case, around 25% above growth of wages ashore, whilst if they had been with Candina, perhaps the increase of wages had been inflation, which is roughly, let's say, instead of 30 percent growth, about just 15. And so it is a huge advantage that you can have this negotiation bargaining agreement with the crew management company and the database volume plus the talent retention and the training and no rebates at all plus 2% without having to use a ship manager, which has conflict of interest because you will never be able to put your hands directly into the superintendent, deck and engine side, and also the crew side. And this is really, it is a great problem I see nowadays with this coronavirus. Hopefully, ship owners will start to think, well, I can be I want to be the employer of the crew, yes, but I need this digital, this insurance, this bank, these huge database possibilities, flexibility, and zero risk because they have availability of different countries. We have agreements in Philippines, $30 per seafarer per month. So we are growing constantly our digital 20% per year, which is not so easy to grow 20% database of seafarers per year. From 100,000, we will be 120,000 seafarers soon, then compound, compound, compound. So yes, this is a great advantage that we can unite and retain the talent in the ship owner because we want the contracts for 50 years with ship owners. We don't just want them for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. No, we want for 50 years. Why? Because this is our goal: long-term contracts and intrinsic compound value of the long term. That's why we can provide a 2% fee, because if we start working in the talent and retaining the best seafarers for the ship owners and the best crew, then we believe that then the workload will go towards less, and then the ship owner can grow into more ships, and this is a very good interest, long-term interest for all of us, the crew management company and the ship owner. So thank you very much indeed, ship owner, and hope that in the future we have a tender sent to you directly. Uh, don't think just on one, two, three ships. I mean, the most important thing for me is not to have one crew management company, two crew management, three crew management company, four crew management company. The most important thing for me is to have four employers diversified in a fleet of 100 ships, let's say, or 20 or 30 ships, because this is what before the ship owners did not look at, and I believe that it is one of the most important things. Probably there will be a flag very soon. There will be an P&I very soon. There will be a bank or a transfer or a health prevention very soon, disruptive way, and we must make the most out of this, having four, let's say, employers, because who knows which one will go first in what direction. I made many videos of the different kinds of ships, different kinds of flags, and well, we are working very hard to continue improving direct relationship with you because we have no conflict of interest. Thank you very much. Bye.